He told me that, Prasad, your PhD is your PhD. And what I mean by that is, 5 years down the line, when people think of this area, the first name that should come to their mind should be yours and not mine.
So how are the PhD years?
Oh, some of the best years of my life. Some of the best years of my life. Credit goes to JNC and especially my lab and my PhD mentor and my lab mates. Best because I was given the freedom to do things the way I wanted to do it. When I joined, we had a conversation, and I told my PhD supervisor that, there are many days where I'll have to go back home. There are family issues I will have to handle, and so I can't stay in a hostel all the time. Though I was Banglorean, I had a hostel room. I couldn't stay in the hostel all the time. Is that okay with you? Then he said, no. See, I'm not bothered about when you come to the lab, when you go to the lab, when you go home. All that is not bothered. Are you learning? Are you doing things? That is all that matters. Beyond that, doesn't matter. Then he told me something which has stayed with me forever. He told me that, Prasad, your PhD is your PhD. And what I mean by that is, 5 years down the line, when people think of this area, the first name that should come to their mind should be yours and not mine. Right? Not his as a supervisor, but mine as a student. So what he was trying to say was that when you are doing PhD in an area, own it. Right? You should be the master of it. Your supervisor gets to know second-hand the experiment and the results that you got. You are the primary driver. Right? And he gave us full freedom to choose whatever topic we wanted. He gave me full freedom in how I wanted to work, whether I worked in the mornings, nights, afternoon, whether I took some week off. Never questioned me. Never. But whenever I wanted him, he was always there. And he was very free, very open. I didn't have to go to him, make an appointment. I could just walk up to him and say, are you free? If he was free, he would say, हाँ, chalo. That was the first response, chalo. Because we had a very nice walkway in JNC. Nicely covered over. It was Banglore, but even in Banglore, it was cooler. So we would walk up and down with a mug of coffee and discuss. And there was Malik, who was a postdoc. Then Shiba, who was my senior. She taught me a lot. And many of my juniors, including Sutir. It was a very vibrant environment. My greatest fear in my PhD, I should say this, was my work required me to be awake through the night for many days at a time. So we would set up flies and you had to take observations every 2 hours, day and night. And of course, your friends would help you out at certain points of time. Certain points of time you had to take. My biggest fear was night observations because I love to sleep. And I used to sleep off by 10 o'clock, not wake up till 6 o'clock. And in PhD, how do you wake up? So I came up with a system, which was, we have these plexiglass cages with a cloth covering. So we would take an alarm clock, an analog wind-up clock, put it in there, put it in a cage, tie up, put it next to me and sleep. So that when it rang, I could not just shut it off. I had to wake up, open the cage and turn it off, by which time I would be awake. So that fear I slowly got rid of. Then at some point of time, I could just wake up, even before the alarm rang. But people were very, very supportive. I think the best thing was the absolute freedom that we got as PhD students to do things the way we wanted.